What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today we are going to take a look at the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Trunks, the boy from the future. And this is the re-release right here, as you can tell by that little sticker. So this is the one that supposedly has all the fixed QC issues, but we'll see if this reissue still has issues. I gotta say right off the bat, this is one of my favorite characters from Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball, just the entire line in general. But I gotta be honest, there are some issues with this reissue. There are a lot of really good things too, but we're gonna uncover all of that as we move forward. But first things first, let's get him scaled up and see how tall he is.
So how tall are you?
Okay, to the top of his Super Saiyan hair, he is right at 6 inches, and right down to where about his skull would be is more like 5.5 inches, which would make the entire figure roughly 15.5 centimeters. Let's do some comparisons real quick and stand him beside some other figures. Right here he is next to Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, and I think that Trunks is a bit tall. He should be little bit shorter than Goku. Well, not even a little bit. He should be significantly shorter than Goku. But this Trunks is awfully big and beefy, and I like the look of it, but he should be a lot shorter and a lot more like slim, you know what I mean? But either way, I still think they look really, really good. Let's stand him next to his dad, superhero Vegeta right here, and he's taller than his dad. And I think Trunks is taller than his dad, but maybe not this much taller. But they still look really good together regardless. And just for fun, let's stand him next to the guy that he killed, Mecha Frieza. And that's about right. Maybe he should be maybe just a little bit shorter, but he is definitely bigger than Frieza, so that looks pretty good. And let's stand him next to the older version of himself, the Armored Trunks right here. This is the first run of that, not the newest one that came out, you know, a year or two ago or whatever. And that right there is showing the scale problem, because this Trunks right here should be taller than this one because he's like a year older. But whatever, I mean, scale is never perfect. I think they both look fantastic, but this one is a bit big. So it is what it is. It's kind of a wash. But anyway, I think he looks really good next to all these figures, and that's all I've got for scale and comparisons. So let's take a look at all of his accessories.
Propane and propane accessories.
Okay, this figure right here was, I think, about $64, $65 after tax, and he comes with some pretty cool accessories for all that. He comes with a really awesome Super Saiyan head sculpt with an interchangeable set of bangs. Here is the Super Saiyan head sculpt, and he comes with these bangs on him in the package. And here are the other Super Saiyan bangs. He's also got 4 different face plates for it. He comes with a serious face on him in the package. He comes with another serious face that's looking off to the left. He comes with a teeth gritting face and an open mouth yelling face. He comes with a really awesome looking base form head sculpt, but it only has 1 face plate. And here is his base form head sculpt. It looks really, really good. He also comes with 12 interchangeable hands. He's got 2 fist hands that come on him in the package. He's got 2 sets of sword holding hands for whatever reason. He's got a set of like fighting grip hands. He's got a set of open palm blast hands. And he's got a set of like knife hands for when he does that little final blast on Frieza. And he has an awesome looking sword. And here's how his sword looks on him from the front. And here from the back, it looks really awesome. But I'll be honest, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get on him. And here's the sword itself. It looks really awesome. And all that stuff looks fantastic. This figure's accessories really, really look good. Would I like a blast effect or something like that, or a flight stand? Sure. But for the money, what we actually get is actually really good. And you all know that I'm a sucker for extra head sculpts, and he comes with one, so they kind of touched a soft spot there for me. But that's all I've got for his accessories. They are really, really good. So let's move in and take a look at his paint and detail.
I must paint you.
Oh, that's...
Okay, this figure does look really, really good. Overall, he has a nice look and appeal to him, but he is lacking in the paint department. But let's start at his head and work our way down. He does have a nice matte, flat finish on all this hair, and this hair sculpt does look fantastic. A nice soft pale yellow with some nice shading and gradient right through there, right through the part of his hair. That looks fantastic. All of the face plates look really good, have that nice detail in them right through those little lines, and the eyes look good, and the mouth and everything. His sculpt and everything looks really good. A little beefy for how this character actually should look, but it does look good. The jacket and everything, that is just color plastic. other
You're a piece of shit.
than that right there, and that looks very, very clean. But the jacket could use a wash or something to kind of make it pop a little bit. It's just plastic. The shirt on the inside is just colored plastic. There is paint here on the chest, and I do like it because they match the color pretty well. But this lip that's running around the inside of the like the neck collar area of the shirt is casting kind of a shadow that at certain angles looks jarring a little bit. It really kind of distracts me and catches my attention for some reason. But when you tilt it, it goes away. But at certain angles, it just casts a shadow that really kind of catches your eye. It's odd. The belt right here, this is just plastic. Now the buckle is painted, and it's not painted the best in the world, but it is painted. And the buckle on his little strap for his sword holster is painted. And again, it looks good enough, but the rest of it is just plastic. Pants are plastic, no wash, no shading. Boots are plastic, no wash, no shading. Now the heels and the toes of the boots are painted brown, and it's very clean, no panel lining or wash or anything like that. But they're clean, they look good enough.
I like your boots.
The sword scabbard, colored plastic, colored plastic. Now this right here, that's paint and that's paint. And his little, I don't even know what you would call these, like the little buttons or whatever on the cuffs of his jacket. They're painted, they look good enough, whatever. Now his little sword, it's like I'm not sure if that like is kind of a gunmetal paint on there or if that's just a plastic. Either way, it looks good. I know that the handle is painted and it looks good enough, but it's just, I don't know, everything just, even though he has a fantastic look, it's still just a little like plain. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. It just needs a wash, something to make it pop just a little bit more. But the sculpt and the way he looks kind of takes your eye off of it, but if you really dig in, it gets a little, it's like, I wish they had done just a little bit more. So that is a bit of a complaint of mine, is the lack of paint. But, and speaking of lack of paint, his extra head sculpt here, detailed really nicely how they got all the different strands and stuff in the head sculpt, but no shading, no wash. It's just very plain, other than, you know, the paint that's on it looks good, but there's just nothing to really kind of bring it to life. It was almost kind of an afterthought or something. But I mean, again, and his face sculpt looks really, really good, and the paint on it is fantastic there too. But it's just very plain. If you look at the base form head sculpt from the other trunks, you see how there's gradient and shading there and there. I mean, both head sculpts could use a wash or something, but this one's just, it's a little bit softer of a sculpt, but it just looks a little bit better with that paint through there. But, you know, like I said at the very beginning, the lack of paint on this figure was kind of a complaint of mine, and his head's rolling like he just got beheaded, but whatever. Overall, I do like the aesthetic of Trunks. He just has a super cool look, but he definitely could have used some more paint and a wash and stuff like that. But that's all I'm going to complain about his aesthetic. Let's move in to talk about his articulation.
I know Kung Fu.
All right, now Trunks, he moves really well, but let's start with his head. Looks down, fantastic. Looks up, fairly decent. The jacket kind of catches the sculpt a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and take the sword off. But the neck and the head move really well in tandem, and that is because, look there, you can do side to side, all that stuff, and that's because, I'll let you take one guess, he's got a double ball peg. And with a double ball peg, you can do just about anything you want to do with a head and neck. And the neck is just down there on a little ball peg too. His shoulders, way past 90. That is fantastic. They can reach a crossing, and you can cross them over, and you know how I appreciate that. But let's take a look at why that's possible. If we open up his jacket here.
What the fuck is that?
There is almost no upper torso sculpt there. It is all gone and hidden by the jacket, and we'll point out here in a minute how it's not really hidden all that well, but that's why he's able to reach all the way across himself so well with his butterfly, because there's nothing there. I have mixed feelings about kind of basically just having a hollow cavity underneath of a rubber jacket, but whatever. I don't like it, especially from the back, because of the way this jacket is done. It's like cut into 3 parts. Well, if you reach his arm across, and you can see into and through the jacket. Now, I get it that this sword's supposed to be across his back, so that hide it, but that still shouldn't really be a thing anyway.
We have a problem!
But that, that's kind of a nitpick of mine. The bicep swivel is really cool because it's kind of hidden by the wrinkle of the arm. So I kind of like that a little bit. Double jointed elbow, very nice, way past 90. And the wrist is on a ball hinge. You're not going to get a big bunch of range because it's down in the cuff of the jacket, but it still moves pretty well. He's got a nice little crunch right there. He bends forward good. You get a little gapping in the back, but again, he's meant to have the sword on the back, so that would kind of hide it, but it's still there. When you lean him back, he leans back really well, as you can see, and no gap. So I kind of approve of that. And there's a little ball joint down here that he gets like lots of tilt and added little crunch there. So it actually, his articulation in the abdomen is really, really good. He tilts and swivels and all that stuff. So you can twist him all the way around. And
That's a twist. That's very twisty.
all that stuff. And he gets nice twist from the diaphragm break too. Now, let's talk about the hips. These crazy hips that I have seen a lot of people complain about. And yes, they are, they look weird. I'm not even going to lie. I don't really know why the sculpt was kind of cut like that. I have no guesses, but the legs do work super well. He doesn't really have too big of dangly bits down there from it, so that is absolutely fantastic. Great front kick, way past just the hip, but he does have butt cheeks, and because of that, he can't kick back at all. So no Mary Lou Retton split. You can kind of fudge the way you're holding him and make it look like he's doing it, but he's not. And I want to point out, if you try to push that back, you get a nice gap right there.
Surprise.
So that's nice and lovely, that little gap right there. Thigh swivel works well enough. Double jointed knee, past 90, but you'd think it would go up just a little bit higher, but I'll take it, I suppose. And the kind of the symmetry of the leg is pretty good, so that looks pretty good there. I have actually had this kneecap pop off once or twice on me, but it just pops right back on. But tell me down in the comments if yours does that or not, or if anybody else, or if you've heard of anybody else's doing that. I thought that was a little odd. Little bit of gappy in the ankle, not a whole big bunch down, little to none up. So it basically just does that, so not too much out of that. But he does get a little bit of ankle rocker, so that's somewhat acceptable. Toe break, nice and gappy.
No surprise here.
But it doesn't stick out down at the bottom like the Goku ones do. So I'll take it. I don't really like toe joints regardless. But as far as his articulation, it's really good. His shoulders are really good because of that nice chasmous upper body that he has right there. That's the reason why they function so well. But his diaphragm joint and everything is really good. His legs are really good, other than the fact that they put a butt crack on him and he can't kick back. The knees work fine. Ankles are so-so. They're not any worse than any Vegetas or Goku figures, so I can't complain there. And toe hinges, they are what they are. So overall, this guy's articulation is really, really good, and he's on a double ball peg, so I love that. So that's all I've got for his articulation. Let's move into my final thoughts.
Now listen to me very carefully.
Okay, Trunks, boy from the future. Objectively, there are some issues with this figure. Aesthetically, you know, he looks really good, but he's missing some paint. He's got a cavernous upper body. The cut of this jacket is odd. His hips look odd. There's no paint. Or very little paint, I should say. So, you know, you've got to take those things into account objectively. You know, subjectively, I love the figure, but objectively, I got to be real for everybody and tell you whether or not this is a figure you want to buy. And at $64, yes, he comes with some really cool accessories, but the figure is, I don't want to call it riddled with issues, but he's got some.
Yeah, no shit.
He's got a lot of redeeming qualities too, but the problems that he does have, we can't overlook. So I want to give this figure a B-. He is above average, but he is not one of the better or best releases that that Bandai has put out. I hate to say it because subjectively and as just a collector and as me, I love the figure, but there are some problems with it as you found out from the video. But that's all I've really got for Trunks himself. If you have not yet, please click subscribe. We are on the road to 500 subscribers and we need your help to get there. So please like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. And check out our other videos. We're trying to make better videos each and every time we make one. so that you, the viewer, enjoy them. With all that said, this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.